2015 was a great year for video games. There was a lot of diversity that year. You had fighting games, RPGs, racing games, and action. But I'm not here to dwell on the past, I'm here to look to the future. This is Chase83, and here are my top 10 upcoming games of 2016. Had this been a year ago, The Division would have been number 1. Unfortunately, with all the delays and the downgrades, this has to be number 10. It just seems like every time Ubisoft brings this game into the spotlight, it just looks uglier and uglier. Nonetheless, I'm still excited to play it, so hope it's good. And honestly, I'm over exaggerating, and that's not to say this game looks bad. It's just when they showed it at E3, this is what I thought next gen was going to be. And now it just looks like any other game on the market. The departure of Keiji Inafune was kind of a devastating one to fans of his work. After he left, it seemed like Capcom didn't want anything to do with any of his franchises. And it seemed like they neglected the Blue Bomber. Personally, I really didn't even think we were going to see a proper Mega Man again. Then, just like magic, in 2013, Keiji Inafune shows up at the Penny Arcade Expo and announces Mighty Number 9. I'm sure I don't need to sell this one to you. If you were a fan of Mega Man, chances are you're looking forward to this game just like me. It's kind of rare when you find a game that you'd rather watch than play, but the sleeper hit of 2013, Outlast, is one of them, and it's finally getting a sequel. The first Outlast was one of my favorite games of 2013. It was one of the rare occasions where you actually used no guns whatsoever. Your whole objective was just to survive. Not much is known about Outlast 2 other than it has a new character, and that's pretty much it. Let's just hope it's as good as the first one, minus that ending. Street Fighter V. I've been a lifelong Street Fighter fan, and this excites me to no end. This one I really don't have to go in depth with. It's Street Fighter, you pretty much know what you're getting. New characters, new moves, better stages, and I pray that online works day one. So this one is kind of cheating, but not really. Dying Light, the following is, well, the follow-up to 2015 game, Dying Light. This isn't just a lame expansion. They're updating it and putting more content than what was originally released last year. The new area called Countryside is larger than both maps on the first game combined. In my opinion, RPG fans can be just as divisive as console fanboys. There were Final Fantasy fans, and there were Dragon Quest fans. I myself was more partial to Dragon Quest. But I'm not a hater. If something looks good, it looks good. So Final Fantasy Versus 13 was a game I was expecting to come out a few years ago. The game was announced in 2006. Then year after year of no shows at any conference, the game just vanished. Nothing. Not even an update. Many people thought it was cancelled, including myself. Then when it fell away from the spotlight, everybody wondered, where is this game? To everyone's surprise, it showed up in June 2013 at E3, not as Final Fantasy Versus 13, but as Final Fantasy 15. The more Square shows this game off, I gotta admit, I'm getting a little impressed. I'm just hoping that J-pop boy band thing the main characters have in the game isn't that distracting. But let's not forget, this game has had a 10-year dev cycle. That's longer than the PS3 and Xbox 360 generation. So this game has to be good, right? PC players rejoice. The sequel to the 2012 Game of the Year, well, in my book, is finally coming out. For the unaware, XCOM is a series that started in 1993. It's a tactical-based shooter and is addictive as all hell. So what do we know about XCOM 2? Well, this game takes place 20 years after the events of the first game. A side note, the first game had multiple endings, and the ending that the game takes into account, well, spoilers, was the ending where the aliens took over. So in this one, humanity lurks in the shadows, blah blah blah. I'm sure you've heard this story before. Can't wait for it, XCOM 2. Every once in a while you see a game that changes the way you view the medium. When I first saw Cuphead, I was amazed. I've always said presentation is key, and this takes it to 11. The game looks like a cross between Mega Man and Popeye. Yeah, I know, very weird. On top of that, it truly nails the 1930s cartoon style. I've been pumped for this game for years. Now my only complaint is that it's only boss fights, which reminds me so much of Mega Man Power Battles, but good. So although I will enjoy the pattern-based combat, I just wish there were, more traditional platforming levels you would expect from a cartoony looking game like this. But you always can't get what you want in life. So let's not call this Doom 4. For some odd reason, id Software keeps rebooting this series. I mean, Doom 3 was a reboot, so basically there would be 3 Doom 1s, whatever. It's not like Doom had the most engaging story where you want to see where the last game left off. So here's a little backstory on Doom 4, or I guess it's called Doom now. It's been in development since 2008. id Software even scrapped the whole game and restarted production in 2011, and the game was finally shown in 2015 at E3. Doom has always been a staple of the PC community, and by looking at this, I know why. If it looks anything as advertised, Doom will easily be top 3 of best looking PC games of all time. My hype meter is at 10. You die, you die, you die again. This is the 3rd installment of the Souls franchise, or I guess it could be considered the 4th if you count Demon Souls. Anyway, I have never in my life played a game that is so frustrating and so satisfying at the same time. This is a game when you die, and you will, it is completely your fault. It is a game of pure skill. What makes this my number 1 game is that the Dark Souls series reminds me so much of The Legend of Zelda, the original one. I remember playing it and thinking, I don't know where to go. You just explore and see what happens. You can go the whole game and miss key events. It doesn't give you a map, it doesn't give you a HUD display showing where you're supposed to go. This is old school gaming at its finest. So looking at the trailer, I noticed that Dark Souls 3 is looking more and more like Bloodborne, another From Software game, which can be good or bad. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. What's also impressing me about this game is the graphics. Now this is a step up from Dark Souls 2. I really wasn't a big fan of the graphics in Dark Souls 2, but this looks like it may give my graphics card a little workout. So those are my top 10 upcoming games of the year. Let me know what you think. If you guys enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and let me know what are your top 10 upcoming games this year. I'm Chase83, you guys take it easy.